Hey guys, this is Sunday 1520 with our 10th scripting tutorial, and I told you guys that I might do lighting, but I didn't want to because lighting is kind of boring, and to be honest it is, so I'm not going to do lighting for the big 1-0. So I was going to do weapons, like guns and stuff, and how to make a bullet stay up and shoot them, but there's some things I need to teach you before I can do that. So unfortunately, guns will be delayed just a bit longer. So instead, I chose leader stats because even though it's not that cool, it's alright. So anyways, I'm going to delete this script here and we're going to start making our leader stats. And the point of doing this now instead of later, because you think this is sort of like a project, but in reality, what I'm going to get you guys using is BoolValues. Pretty much every value in here. I'm going to be using IntValues within this script and BoolValues, and I want you guys to practice placing them into characters and random objects so that you can use them towards your benefit when you're making things. So I'm going to start this off. Game.players, that was poor spelling, .player added connect function players and their parameters, and I'm just going to shove that end in there so we don't forget. So because we put the parameter player on the player added event, and player added is exactly what it says, it's an event. You guys know all about events, jumping, touched, the click one, mouse click one. Player added is just whenever the player is added, it triggers whatever function. And player, if we put that in the parameters, we'll create it so that it identifies whatever player was added. So now what we want to do is stats equals instance.name, and it's just going to be an int value, which is numerical value. An int value, when you insert it, I will show you guys. Just put an int value in the script. IntValue, it just has a value that's a number. Object value has object value, obviously, and I have to deselect this to get rid of it. So yeah, that's an IntValue. BoolValue is the true or false, obviously, because Boolean, you guys know that. BoolValue, it'll be a true or false value. So anyways, stats.name equals leader stats. Oh man. Okay, leader stats. So you have to call it leader stats. You have to make an int value called leader stats to connect it to the leaderboard. So whenever you play a game, you'll notice like a little box up here. To connect it to that box is always there, whether you have a leaderboard script or not. There will always be a box, but it'll just say your name and nothing else, unless you insert a leaderboard script. So if you make an int value called leader stats within a player, then it'll connect to that leaderboard, and it's just built in that way. So that's just what you have to do. And then from there, you put other stats within the leader stats, and any stats you put in there will show up on the thing. So first off, I'm going to tell you how to do a tycoon leaderboard. So we need money equals instance.name, and it's going to be another int value because money is obviously a numerical value, and money.name, I'll do name first, equals just money, and money.value. We didn't set the leader stats value because it's defaulted to 0, but for something like money, you have to be sure, so you want to just, oh, I put a capital there, but you want to just make sure that it's 0, and then what we want here is money.parent equals stats, and we didn't make stats parent, so stats.parent equals player. And from our parameters, you know that player is going to be whoever was added, so just shove these stats into whoever was added. And yeah, so that's that. So right now, it'll have a money thing. I'll just And here's where you have to do the F7 thing. So if we click F7 here, or you go into test and or tools, test, start server, you have to start a server first to trigger a player out of the event. You'll have to start a server and then start a player within the server. If you just press F6 or play solo, it doesn't work. That's all I have to say. So you have to go tools, start server. This is the server here, and then on the server you start the player. It's a lot of loading, especially for a computer like mine, but it's necessary to run the player out of the event. So that's the only way we can test our leaderboard. So here we go. Now we have, see this box up here will always be player 1, and it'll have like this, but this money thing and the value of money was not there before. So now if we go into players, player 1, because it was added, we inserted leader stats. Within the leader stats, there's a stat called money. We can change it to like random numbers, and look, our money's that number. So to use it in your game, when you make the droppers that create money, you just make it so that if dropper touches like collector or something like that, then player.leaderstats.money equals player.leaderstats.money plus 5, because let's just say it's worth 5. So that's pretty much how you do that. It's really quite simple once you get the leaderboard down. Then another thing I want to show you guys is if you want to make extra stats, because like I said, I'm teaching you to insert stats into people and into things. It comes really useful in Tycoons, because sometimes in the Tycoon you'll have certain things that you don't want people to buy until they have something else. So what you do is you insert a stat into the player. So let's just say bought roof. So you don't want anything to be bought, like you don't want one thing to be bought until someone's bought roof. They've bought the roof. So bought roof equals instance dot new. This time it's going to be BoolValue. So bought roof dot value equals false. So it'll start off false, so the person hasn't bought the roof. So in your Tycoon, in the button that makes it, and I'll teach you guys how to make Tycoons later, like the entire thing, not just a leaderboard. But you'll have a button that buys things, obviously, if you guys have ever played one. And you'll just put a statement after the person buys it that bought roof.value must now equal true after they buy the roof. So then in the next thing, where you need to have bought the roof to buy it, you can just say if bought roof.value equals true, then now we can buy it. So bought roof.name, I just got to finish this off, equals, well, let's just call it bought roof. No, why not? Bought roof. And bought roof.parent equals, perfect. I usually put them in the player, because if you put them in the leader stats, it'll become a leader stat on your leaderboard. You didn't want that. You just want it up here. But if you do want it to be a leader stat, well, then go right ahead. So anyways, that's a Tycoon leaderboard. Really, not that hard. You just have to know that the player added event, if you put the parameter player, it'll recognize the player that joined. So then you just shove some stats in them, and there you go. So that is that. Now, if we wanted to do something different, so I'm just going to delete all of this here. If we wanted to make a deathmatch thing, I'm going to leave kills out for now. I'm going to do wipeouts, even though wipeouts is probably still a little extensive. There's so many different ways to do this, and here, I'll just show you what I mean by how there's so many different ways. If we go into game stuff that Roblox supplies us with, there's a leaderboard. Oh, no, it's the vote to kick player 1. Where's the leaderboard one? Is it this? Yeah, okay, so if we put in this leaderboard, you look at this, and it's quite extensive, really. But that's the point. There's a million ways to do it, because I'm going to do it nowhere near like that. Ugh, I hate having to go in here and deselect things just to delete them. Alright, anyways, back in here. So what we want to do is make a stat called wipeouts. So wipeouts equals instance.new. Look at how much you use instance.new. It's a beautiful thing. Aren't you guys glad that I taught you that? Wipeouts equals instance.new IntValue. Wipeouts dot, I spelled that wrong. Wipeouts.name equals wipeouts, and wipeouts.parent equals stats, wipeouts.value equals 0. So this is pretty much how you create the stat within it. It's just like the money one. You'll have a stat in there that has a value of 0, and it's called wipeouts. Now connecting the actual wipeouts, what I'm going to do here is go into my models, and this is how I do it personally, because it makes it easier to identify the person who killed them for the kill thing later. This is a Walter that I made actually just yesterday. It's published on Roblox. You can take one if you want. If I go into the turret, and look at this, you can put a script inside of a script. Just in case you guys didn't know you can do that, you can. So, what we have here is the basic kill script. What we want to do, though, is make it so that, I'm just going to scratch this part, because I'm going to do this a lot differently. So, character equals hit.parent. Okay, before I do this, so, I'm just going into the turret here because I'm just going to say this is the weapon, and we could have a string value in here called owner name, and whoever owns the turret, it'll be theirs. So what we do is, if someone dies by this turret, well, we just put it into this script here that if they die, it finds the person who died, and it makes the wipeouts +1. The only reason that I do it where I put the script inside the actual kill device instead of the leaderboard, there is ways to do it and putting it all onto here, but it's a lot more complicated than just copying and pasting the script into every different thing. But actually it's really not. It's just too complicated to show you guys right now. But so what you do is you go into here and triangle sys.parent, and the killer will be owner name. So you find the player with the same value as the owner name of the turret, if there was a string value in here called owner name, and then you add a kill to them because they got killed. So I have the perfect script for this, and I'm just going to show you guys how you be efficient. I have my teleporter here. My teleporter already has a built-in script that I wrote a couple weeks ago. Where is it? Right at the start here. I already did the first line, but I'm just going to teach you guys. Don't write out scripts if you already have them. Like, it's good practice right now, but for a script like this, where, there's this, the chances of me screwing up on this are pretty slim, but you always want to be sure. So, I'm just going to Control-C that, and it makes sure that, well, I already know my teleporter works, so this line works, so I'll take the working line and put it in there. And, well, there you go. That makes things 10 times easier. So, triangle sys.parent, if character, find first child, so hit.parent is obviously the character. The actual character within the workspace, the parts and everything. If it finds the humanoid, and it gets the player from the character. So this checks if there's a character and a player to go along with it. Get player. Alright, so I forget where I was, but we had character, find first child, humanoid. So we find the humanoid within the character, and then we use this method here called get player from character. So game.players, and we get player from character, and then we identify which character, and char is the hit's parent, so we're getting it from there. So that'll go into the game.players and find that, and that's really useful. You guys should use that a lot. Yeah. So then what we got here is player equals game.players or get player from character. So pretty much this. It's this line, but we're giving this a variable now, and then we can do the same with the first part and say humanoid equals character dot or character find first child humanoid. And there, so now we can say the humanoid's health equals 0, and we can also add in what was it? So we just pretty much identify the what is it? So player dot leader stats dot wipeouts dot value will equal whatever it is, because you can't just say it's 1 or else it'll never go up after the first one. So you say player.leaderstats.wipeouts.value equals player.leaderstats.wipeout.value plus 1. So whatever it is, plus 1. And yeah, and then the rest of the script is just for my turret. But yeah, so that's that. So where did I put the turret? Let's just close up this teleporter here. We don't need that anymore. Where's the turret? Oh, it's under there. Alright, well, that's ground level. That should be able to hit us. So, hit F7. We'll start a server. We'll start a player on the server. And, we'll test out that our wipeouts go up when it hits us. And the script that I just added is pretty much you just add that to everything, and or every weapon in the game that you want to count as a wipeout if a person dies from it. So yeah, I'll show you the other way when you just put it all in one script later. It's probably more compact, less work, but not really, because you have to make a script for every weapon anyways. But yeah. So, there's the turret. Just gotta make sure it's shooting. I do not see it shooting. Interesting. Well, let's see what's wrong then. Oh yeah, I forgot. The way I built this turret, I didn't use instance.new to make a model in the workspace because I decided that I was too lazy to do that. So yeah, if any of you guys want to take my turret, teleporter and the chandelier that I have, if we go into my models here, the chandelier, what is this? Oh yeah, but the chandelier and stuff, you don't need to add anything extra for those two. But this thing, you need a model called bullets, because you have to have the debris somewhere, and I don't like putting it in the actual debris thing, because it's harder to get to. So, there, now that we have that model, we can retest this. And now that the gun will shoot, we can actually check the leaderboard part, which is the whole point of this tutorial. So, it'll be good if we do that. Yep, there it is, shooting those red things. So, Alt F7, get a player on here. Alright, so here we are. And before we start, if we look up here at our leaderboard, we don't have a wipeout stat. So, hey, look at that, there is nothing. I do not know what that would be. And I want to get rid of that teleporter because it's kind of in the way. It looks ugly right there. So, yeah, that should have ran. Not sure why I didn't. I'm just gonna go back in. Let's make sure there's yeah, alright, so if we start a player on here, it should do player added and connect it. Kills us. And we don't have this stat though. Alright, so everything's the same as before. Player added, connect the function player, and oh, that's it. I didn't make the stat have a parent, so it was probably just floating in the void. That is a problem. Alright guys, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't see that. Alright, then, see, that's the problem with this output bar. Sometimes things like that you won't catch. So, I always have like a thought process in my head where I've done all this a million times, so I just rewrite it all, and when I rewrite it in my head I realized I didn't have the parent line. So, yeah, that's what I do. So that's the reason why you guys should practice. The more you do it, the easier it will be to debug like any sort of script, because you'll just know what needs to be happening. Alright, so we got wipeouts sitting right there at 0. Stand in front of this trusty turret here. This trusty turret that isn't shooting. And that is why the bullets model is gone. And I have no clue why. Alright, well, that's a weird glitch, but I've seen it before, and I know if you just put a part in the model, if you guys ever do this, if you have a part in the model, it for sure stays. Like, it can't leave. It's just against everything. So, we'll try this out now, and it should work this time. And, that'll be that for the tutorial. And next tutorial, I am going to make this wall turret pretty much. I'm going to make this gun. Or a gun. Not exactly that one, because, that one is kind of basic, if you look at it. You can also make it so the gun targets people and shoots at people, which is really cool. I'm going to input that into that wall turret there, but I just made it yesterday, so I haven't had time to advance it yet. So right now it just shoots straight. But, yeah, it's really quite easy to make, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that next tutorial. That is what we are going to do, is make something that fires. Anyways, back to this tutorial. Is it shooting? Yes, it is. Stand right here. Get shot. Wipeouts 1. And 2. That is... okay. That brings up a good point. We got shot twice. And we got shot twice because we don't have a debounce. So, what happened is, it'll change it without us knowing. So, if this runs, what we want is to make, we'll just call it like poke or something. You can call it whatever you want. poke equals 1. So, and then in this if statement, we gotta make it so that and poke equals 0, and it has to equal 0, sorry. So if poke equals 0, then run through it. So you make poke equal 1, and then we gotta run through the rest of the script. We'll wait like 3 seconds, and then turn poke back to 0, so that it can run through again. So, we have to make poke too. We have to make a variable. So up here, we just say poke equals 0. So, F7, and this will be the last time. That's debouncing for you guys. So if you ever see people, they usually use the word debounce or ting, and it'll be like ting equals 0, and that makes sure that you can't run a script more than once without you wanting to. Check out my teleporter. It has a debounce in there as well, and it just works well. I've never brought that up with you guys, but yeah, you just make a random variable, and then you make sure it's at a certain number, so that your script runs once per whenever you want it to run. So now, it will kill us. It'll wait 3 seconds. If this bullet doesn't come within 3, oh, it came at 3. So, I'm not going to redo this for you guys, but if you put it to, if we go back in here, we have to make a longer wait, because the fire rate on the thing is 3. So we have to wait like 5 seconds, so the second bullet will not affect us if we do a wait of 5, and I guarantee that. So, yeah, that's this tutorial, and next tutorial, I'm going to be doing this. So, like, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm sorry it took me so long to get this tutorial out. I haven't had much time lately, but, yeah. So, keep your test place running, and have a nice day, guys. See ya.